Before we get into the meat of today's video, I want to take the opportunity to do two things. Firstly, later on today at 9:30 PM GMT, I'm going to be streaming with Trups LP discussing the wiretapping incident in the United States. Link to that in the description. Second, my country, as I have stated twice this week, is going through a heat wave, so much so that our reservoirs are apparently almost dry. There are a number of retards who think that even if they crack a window ever so slightly, it is somewhat acceptable to leave your dog in a car. I say this as somebody who has walked up to a car, noticed a dog inside struggling, and summarily smashed the window in because I couldn't get my hand through the crack or find a way to open the door enough or open the window enough to be able to get the dog out safe and then place the dog within a shaded area to then give the dog water. I have very little time for careless people like you, and no matter how many times you tell me that you are only gone 2 minutes, you are not. You are not worthy of that pet's love. You absolute fucking idiot. And to anyone that does this, leaves their dog in a car, or thinks it's okay to take their dogs for a walk on boiling hot tarmac, I challenge you to stand on boiling hot tarmac, or sit in a car without a window cracked, for the length of time you were actually in a shop. I promise you, not only will you be sweating, you will more than likely hyperventilate and black out. Since dogs do not have sweat glands for the most part, can you understand now how they struggle? Right, now that I've gotten that out of my system, the subject of today's video is one that made me chuckle, because it's one of those things where people are crying victim, but they're not the actual victim. They've done something, they've done it bad, and then they've been called out on it, and it has fallen apart on them. So, a waiter entirely fabricated a widely reported racism claim. The image you see on the screen now is the evidence of this, to a server called Karlee, if I've mispronounced that. I don't care, where it is claimed that they were not tipped because we don't tip terrorists, because as we all know, the only way to truly become a martyr and go to heaven and get your 72 male virgins is to bust other people's tables and serve them first, and then scream Allahu Akbar, because that is totes logical. A US waiter is no longer working at a Texas restaurant after his employer said he faked a widely shared image of a receipt scrawled with a racist note. Khalil Kavil, who worked at a Saltgrass Steakhouse restaurant in Odessa. Are we sure it's a steakhouse or a gay bar? Maybe I'm preempting that for Ghost Poo tonight. Posted an image of the receipt to Facebook where it attracted tens of thousands of shares and comments. The story was widely covered by the media, including the Washington Post, the Sun, and the Daily Mail, in an illustration of how false claims can spread online and be picked up by the mainstream press. Yeah, it's surprising how fast moral outrage spreads. I could segue into the James Gunn thing, but honestly, after watching Monday Matt's train wreck discussing it, I can't be sure if his intentions are noble or if he's just desperate to have a consistent director for a third Guardians of the Galaxy movie. No offense, Matt. A customer was initially banned from the restaurant in response to the claims, but on Monday, Saltgrass Steakhouse Chief Operating Officer Terry Turney said in a statement that the employee fabricated the entire story. Racism of any form is intolerable, and we will always act swiftly should it occur in any of our establishments. Falsely accusing someone of racism is equally disturbing. Well, I would go so far as to argue that it is racist and is begging for tips. Let's face it, once this person has people hooked on the idea that they have been a victim of racism, people are going to start asking for that waiter. People are going to donate to them anyway. People are going to just go out of their way to virtue signal and look good. Does anyone remember that clock boy? Where's he now? Is he McDonald's yet? Or did he go to a different country and not amount to anything because what he'd actually done was a crock of shit? Doesn't matter. Now, to give this story a bit more context, we're going to go to the Washington Post that is actually mentioned in the BBC article, where it says the bill was $108.73 and his tip, 0. Is tipping mandatory? I'm just saying. I've been to a number of restaurants, and I don't ever recall being told I had to tip. I mean, I do tip sometimes, but the service has to be pretty damn good to warrant it. And no, I do not mean when I go to Burger King, because there is no Burger King anywhere near me. Cry. Cavill, just to give a bit more background information on him, is a half-black, half-white, mudblood, 20-year-old waiter who speaks openly about his Christian faith. Also, he is so mixed that he could have passed off as Arabic. Congratulations. Who speaks openly about his Christian faith and plans to pursue a degree in fakery. Karlee was the name of a friend of his father's who died in an accident. His father, who had thought about that friend a lot, and he liked the name, which means friend in Arabic, so he named his son after him. Oh, it's the name. Right. Definitely not the racial profiling element that you tried to use. Because honestly, I couldn't care less where the name comes from. And to understand just how much this impacted on people, when it was shared to Facebook, it was subsequently shared from that 19,000 times and gained 8,000 comments, most of which were positive. And I was right earlier when I stated I thought people might go out of their way to give him money, because some supporters found ways to send Cavill money to make up for the tip he didn't receive. Because in a follow-up Facebook post, Cavill thanked people that had sent him money, but he said, "I want to make it very clear that this was never about the tip nor the money." Right. It was about shedding light on racism, half phrases, and sharing the love of Jesus by making up a lie. Wow, you're really doing Jesus' good work there, aren't you? Although, if you don't believe in that kind of religious stuff anyway, maybe he was doing Jesus' work, spreading the love of Jesus, which is all lies, for those that don't believe in that kind of crap at all. It was about igniting conversations because I believe real change happens when we start talking about the issue and acknowledging it's there. I agree with the sentiment. However, I do not agree with the sentiment when it is born on the back of a lie. Cough cough, Black Lives Matter. Cough cough. Hands up, don't shoot! In any case, when you want to build a platform, you want to make sure the foundation is strong, rock solid, concrete, reinforced concrete. Because people are going to start chipping at it, and when they catch you out, even if you've built a big platform off it and used it to do good, when they find out you've done something reprehensible that is the foundation of what you built your empire on, they're going to take it away from you like a rug under your feet. And they're going to do it because they can, and they should. Of course, you shouldn't not talk about racism. After all, you understand all of it because you have mudblood in your veins. Oh, I'm going to get called racist for that. Doesn't matter. You should make sure you do it from a place of honesty. I was always led to believe that people who were religious were somewhat honest anyway. Of course, that's not entirely true, and I know a number of people who would gladly say, "Fuck you, Omegon. Don't defend the religious. They're all liars." I don't care if you're a liar or not. I don't care if you believe in a god or not. I don't care if you believe in any faith with or without a deity. I really don't. As long as you yourself hold certain principles that are good. I know that now brings up the argument of what is good and what is bad and what is evil and what is not. I'm not doing it. I'm too tired, too hot, sexy hot and heated hot, and I've had too much broken sleep recently to care. My point stands regardless of all of that. Now, the article continues, indicating there were several similar incidents that have been reported within the past 2 years. In August, a waitress in Harrisonburg, VA, I don't know what that is, Virginia? Yeah. Said she didn't get a tip from a customer who left her this note instead. "We only tip citizens." Which I'd like to now take the opportunity to point out now that after some digging, some investigators found out that the couple who had allegedly left that receipt, one of them, much like the person who received it, is herself Puerto Rican and speaks broken English. So whether or not there is any truth to this note or not is debatable. Although I would argue highly unlikely. But again, it just shows how some will reap the benefits off the back of a lie, because this person also received cash in the mail from supporters because of the moral outrage and hysteria, which went so far as to ban the couple from going to that diner. Moral outrage 1, cool reasoning, and evidence 0. Anyway, all this nonsense aside, I hope everyone has a lovely Thursday, and obviously weekend as well, because I'm not making a video for Friday. I'm too lazy, okay? Although if Monday Matt makes another video on James Gunn, I think I might have to, because this is getting stupid now. And thank you all for listening.
Oh, goddowns.
In your arse.
Imagine my shock